Hey, everybody. Happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, and welcome to another edition of Dating Diaries. I am Crystal XO. And of course, this is the XO family. This is from Crystal with Love XO. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys come on in. Let me get my co host in the building as we get you guys in. What's good, Scorpio Moe?
Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. How are
Happy
you?
Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to you.
Exactly.
Yes, 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 yes. Hopefully, everybody has been enjoying some festivities. I know a lot of people were still at work. Um, I was still at work, but hopefully, you guys got a chance to enjoy a little bit of today. Did you get a chance to do anything to celebrate Juneteenth?
My job had soul food. I got a question though. So
Yes.
if we're doing Juneteenth, we're not doing 4th of July?
I do both. I'm doing both because to me, 4th of July, I'm not really celebrating what the rest of the country is celebrating. Usually I'm at Essence Festival. I am still celebrating Black. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I
I
was
mean,
just
I
wondering.
think you can do both. I don't think you have to do either or. What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't know.
I think you could do both.
I know one thing though.
What?
4th of July, I do get off of work.
Well, I
Juneteenth,
mean, we still have much work to do. We still have much work to do. I
but I
do
do
think
get
people
paid double time, so I do like that.
I think people should get off for Juneteenth. But I do think that we can celebrate both. I don't think it has to be either or.
We still have to celebrate the people in Texas that didn't realize they weren't slaves anymore. We definitely have to recognize.
Yeah, but you know what is so weird, and I'm putting a link in the chat, and I would suggest for Juneteenth. I wanted to play this, but I thought if I play this, the entire song, I may get taken off.
Don't,
So
no, don't.
I don't want to do it, but I do want to put this in the chat for anybody that wants to enjoy a little Juneteenth vibes. A good friend of ours. Um, oh,
They made a Juneteenth anthem.
he did. He made a Juneteenth anthem, and yeah, I want to put it in the chat so that if people want to, it actually is a really good song. He did a really good job on it, and I think that you will enjoy it. If you just want to enjoy a little Juneteenth celebration of your own.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Hey, where everybody calling in, tapping in from? Let's get to that, please. Just curious, just curious. XO family, there you go. There you go. Yeah. Where y'all tapping in from?
All right, the Bay Area. That's what's up.
And if you have a dating disaster or
Yes,
dating dilemma,
I will put that in the chat so we can
we would love to hear your dilemma or possibly disaster. Hey, just to give everybody update on Jaquarius.
Jaquarius is alive and well.
Yeah, let people know.
Yeah, Jaquarius is alive and well, and I think by next week I do have a new setup, so I think you guys will be able to see him a little better. I'm trying to get him a little bit more front and center, but he is alive and well. People were telling me last week that that it was not that he was dead, that he was just probably, I don't know. I think he was adapting, right? And he has adapted to, and now he's a pro at this point. He is enjoying his little aquarium, his mini aquarium, and yes, he's good. He's good. He was in shock. Yes, he was in shock. Yes, DeQueasy, Jaquarius is a survivor. Jacaris, just like on Game of Thrones. Now, anybody watch House of Dragons? The House of Dragons, the new season started, and so we watched Game of Thrones and then House of Dragons all over again. And we were able to see when the first time that Daenerys said Jacaris, and the little dragon said ah, and he's good. Yeah, he's good. So he is in his aquarium. He is floating around. Okay, I got
For the
the
record,
YouTube link.
I
I'm
don't
going
want.
to post this in the chat. So if you guys want to look at God, freedom on Juneteenth for Aquarius. Indeed, C Dub. Indeed. Indeed. You know, it it starts with freedom in your home, right? So he is doing well. He is just, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. My little dragon is there. So this is our Juneteenth, the Juneteenth anthem. There is in the chat. Please support and like it if you get a chance to really. And there's a lot of music out now that doesn't necessarily focus on lyrics, and I think the lyrics are a great culmination of what we have all endured over, well, just period, culmination of enduring. And so it's a good friend of mine that grew up in Oklahoma, which you guys know. He was in Oklahoma City, which is close to Black Wall Street, but not necessarily Tulsa, Oklahoma. But that entire area really suffered from the after effects of the Tulsa race riots. So anyway, check that out. I feel like Black love is the biggest, and I'm being honest. I know this is going to you don't think I'm kidding with this. I think that the biggest thing that our community needs really is Black love. I think that one of the biggest issues with our community is the breakdown of the Black family. And that's one of the reasons that I do this channel. I started this channel years ago was because I really feel like one of the biggest issues that has a lot of like domino effects in our community is the family. If we had more families intact, um, I don't think we would be in some of the issues that we're in. I think we'd be able to get our economics together. All of that comes with us with an intact family, right? So this is our little contribution to the community is to host these conversations where we talk about love, because it all starts with a seed. It all starts with a seed. Mo?
Yes, bringing people together.
Yes.
Even if it starts off, the conversation starts off one way. We just want, the goal is
Mm-hmm.
togetherness. So just at the end of the day, it might sway this way. You might think something, but I promise you, it's to all circle around right back to love and togetherness.
Yes, yes. Community. Community. Yes, C Dub, a seed. Yes. Family is the foundation of community. So I know that we want to let me put the link in the chat here. Let me put the link in the chat because we want to make sure that we are opening up the floor. The doors of the church are open. Yes, I love that. DeQueasy, healthy families create legacies. It does. It's very difficult to create generational wealth from a single mom. You know what I mean? And it can be done. It can be done, but it's just very difficult, and it shouldn't have to be done. We shouldn't have to do it that way. We should be able to work together, and we should be able to see the value in that. So I just want to encourage all of you to to give love a try and to be a little open and to encourage, even if you're not in a situation right now that is a loving situation, it still doesn't mean that you can't encourage and support other people.
Exactly. And you just might be able to give love that night. There's nothing wrong with that. Love, both parties understanding. Sometimes it's love forever. Sometimes it's that night. Couple hours. That's it. That's the one.
Well, I don't necessarily know if that's love, but it's something.
It feels like it.
It is connection. It is connection. It is connectivity. It is. That's funny. I saw, and I wanted to ask you about this. I tried to get a video up, and I'm going to try it in a minute. Try again, and I'll have to have you sit for a second with our viewers. But I saw a video on soul ties, and I wondered if you felt like.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so and it was on Hardly Initiated.
Mm-hmm.
And basically there was a woman on there. Now I was not going to play this clip because it was a woman who claims to be a witch. And I just don't feel comfortable.
I saw that.
Giving a platform to a witch on my platform. But I do understand why they had her on. And ironically, the witch said something that was exactly the same as what a pastor said. And she said that basically, when a man and a woman are having sex, she was alluding to soul ties. And she was saying that if you are, a man is saying, asking a woman, whose is it? Say it's mine. And she says that's creating, it's like a curse or a spell. And he's putting a spell on the woman. And then he gets upset later when she is still connected to him and he's not connected to her. And I just wonder, what did you think about that?
Well, I wouldn't say witchcraft. It's affirmation-ish. You know what I'm saying? You're speaking something in the universe, and then she's replying, so you guys are almost agreeing, and then it's in the universe, and whatever happens, happens. I mean, the witchcraft thing is a little bit too far for me. I believe I'm a God thing person, so that witchcraft stuff, you can say
I was like, I don't really want to pull that clip for our show, but
yeah, don't pull the clip. But I just think that if that's what you believe in, that might be the case. But I don't necessarily believe that. And I think if it's anything, you're just speaking something into the universe or in existence, like almost like an affirmation, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Everything else to me is a reach.
Well, it does. The Bible says that the death and life is in the power of the tongue. So that would suggest that whatever you say, and we see that, like that's not just, it's a biblical principle, but it's also the principle of like The Secret, it's affirmation,
that's what I mean.
all those things.
It's all, it's this. Well, I ain't gonna say the same thing, but yeah.
I feel like it all kind of originates from the Bible, but I also believe that, I agree with DeQueezy. You said it's already a soul tie. Sex is it's very spiritual. And the idea of saying that a sexual act is, it definitely has a lot more depth to it than people give it credit for. That's just my opinion. I know there's a lot of people that feel like they can have casual sex and enjoy it. And if you're able to do that, good for you. I just think that once I got a little bit older and I started looking around, I realized there are so many consequences tied to sex that it almost is like the most dangerous thing. I mean, when you really think about it, like let's just open it up. And yes, Jaquarius did survive. He is chilling in the cut, but he did survive. He's doing well. Thank you for asking. But when you think about, let's just talk about all the different after effects of sex going wrong. First of all, pregnancy out of wedlock, horrible. It doesn't always go right. It's usually it could either be person can want to have an abortion or morning after pill. Like unwanted pregnancy makes people scared. It causes people to get up angry at each other. The man doesn't want it. The woman does. The woman doesn't want it. The man does. Unwanted pregnancy and pregnancy out of wedlock is usually a very, very difficult thing to deal with, right? That's one of the better things that can happen, right? So getting a woman pregnant, every woman knows how it feels. You're waiting on your period to come, your period doesn't come, and it's like, oh my God.
And let me be real clear. Y'all not the only ones waiting and be like, oh my God. We across town be like, man, I hope she ain't,
Yeah.
It's two of us.
Yeah, I'm sure. But in that two of us, one of us has to walk around, waddle around with it, and the man.
Well, I don't even want to get in there. Yeah, we all have choices.
What does that mean?
We all have choices. She has a choice not to. He has a choice, whatever she decides. He
right.
has.
Well, right, but I mean, it does make sense, and I do believe. I want to say this before I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but DeQueezy, that's actually really interesting. She said, I want to do a study with women who have schizophrenia or multiple personality disorder and the amount and type of sex partners she's had. That is a great topic, and I know some information about that. It is very scary.
That's deep.
Yeah. That's a whole nother topic, and we have to bring an expert in to talk about that because I want to be very careful when we're talking about mental health. But Okay, so yes, both sides make a choice to be unprotected, right? Or
Correct.
sometimes you can get pregnant when you are trying to use protection, but
Correct.
9 times out of 10, or 8 times out of 10 is when people are not being safe and being careful. So you can get pregnant. That can cause a lot of resentment from a man if he doesn't want to have a child. It can cause resentment from the woman because you don't want to tell a man that you're pregnant and his first response is,
By who?
"Oh, I wasn't even thinking that," but
Yeah.
indeed,
Well,
it,
we're talking about
yeah,
partners. We don't know. I don't know how many partners you are. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
sometimes it's if I don't know you, and we're talking about people who are freely with it. So if you can't, I can't assume if you're freely with me that you possibly might not be. So my first question is, who by who?
That's wild. That is
The
wild.
male sister.
That's wild. And I do know I have heard people say that that has happened. That is extremely hurtful, and I can't imagine being in that situation.
Hey, take it from someone that has some situations that weren't true,
Hmm.
and somebody is in this chat that can verify. So it goes, yeah.
Okay. Um. Yeah. So that's a horrible situation. I think. And then I do want to say this. I was going to move on from the pregnancy, but I, in my opinion, and I know I have an old fashioned opinion, when children are born outside of wedlock, and that sounds really old fashioned, right? Wedlock, but outside of a family unit, um, that can cause a lot of pain. So you have a child that's born and the dad does not really deal with the woman anymore, so he doesn't have a great relationship with that child. The
Mhm.
dad lives in a house with another woman and her child, and he's closer to that child. It is just not good. It is not the best situation ever. I don't know why we sign up for it. Why we fight to have the right to do it. Like, oh well, you don't need a man to have a baby. What? Like you do, and you need him to have it, and you need him to raise it with you. It's ridiculous. So I just don't understand why people are so angry about the fact that it's great to raise a child without two parents. Yes, a lot of us have had to do that, but why would we ever sign up for that? It
Right,
just doesn't make sense. And so then there's the fact that the child is going to have to deal with the fact that the parents don't like each other anymore, um, and have an issue. It's just now that's one thing. Pregnancy is a whole big thing, and that's the most thing that people think about. We're talking, if you're just joining us, we're talking about, is sex does sex create spiritual soul ties? Does it create soul ties? And I just wanted to point out all the negative things that can happen to someone because of sex. Just sex. Like, sex can be what, 5 to 15, 20 minutes to an, I mean, it's a very quick thing, honestly. Like, as far as penetration, hopefully it's not that short, but we all know that it has been at times. Um and then you have all these consequences and repercussions that can go on. So you can have pregnancy, right, that is unwanted,
correct.
horrible. And that's okay. That's okay. This is an open forum. I want people to share what they think. If they don't agree, that's fine. Because I would love, and if you want to come on and share your opinion, feel free. So unwanted pregnancy can be very painful to both sides. The man can be upset because he may not have a chance to get to know his child the way he wants to because the mother is upset. The mother can be upset, as well. It can go very badly. The grandparents may not get a chance to see the children. Now, outside of sex, it can be, um, it can be diseases, right? So we can catch a myriad of diseases from unprotected sex with someone who is having unprotected sex with other people. So, of course, we know that there's AIDS, there's HIV, well, HIV, which can become AIDS. And from what I'm hearing, it's still on the rise. We're not talking about
Georgia
it,
number 3. I just saw it today. We're in the state of Georgia. Georgia is number 3 in HIV.
but
As
it keeps rising. And then once you have HIV, if you don't keep your levels down, and anything can cause the numbers to spike, once you have AIDS, there's no going back from it. All the people that have survived and are doing well, their HIV has never gone to AIDS. Once it goes to AIDS, it's just not something you can live with. Then there are all these other sexually transmitted diseases that there are some that cannot be cured, like herpes or different forms of different types of herpes or genital herpes, which I saw the other day. I was out and I was going into a building and I happened to look up at the billboard and it said that there was a rise of eye syphilis.
I saw that.
And I was like, eye syphilis. So you guys know me. I immediately started to Google.
You know where that comes from, right?
I do. I Googled and I learned where eye syphilis comes from.
Well, it can come from one or two places.
Share with us, Mo.
It can come from rubbing your eyes when you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or someone putting strange liquids in your eyes.
Liquids around the eye that
foreign liquids in or around the eye crevice. Yes. That's what I was told.
It was just what it is. Yes, that would be true. But I mean, the fact that there are billboards, and this is a growing thing. So I think there's a new STI from kissing. I did not hear about that. I know in Atlanta there are at least 3 billboards about eye syphilis, and I don't know what in the world happens to an eye that needs to be treated.
And you know where they put them at?
What?
Know where they put them billboards at? Around strip clubs and where prostitutes hang out.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there's one in Midtown. I don't know.
Yes. We think certain people. Yes. Yeah. You know, that was a big hub they had stings for male prostitutes.
I did not know that.
They had a guy that was running around catching people. I forgot what that dude's name. Like was like
people.
What do you call those? He was like he makes citizens arrests and all like that.
Oh no, I do not know.
That's real. Yeah, you understand. But in the 90s here, if you said you lived in Midtown, people would look at you straight. Yeah. Like now, nobody says it because they have all these high rises. But in the 90s, before the high rises, you couldn't say you lived in Midtown and somebody without someone looking at you crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Yikes. So yeah, guys, I just want to put, I'm putting again, the link in the chat if you want to be a part of this conversation, because I think that, we talk about dating, but I think that sex is a big part of dating. And a lot of people have a conversation about, like, there was, oh my gosh, there was a girl that I think I talked to you guys last week about, a video that we saw where a young lady, and I know her, she said that she went out with a guy from Bumble, 3 dates. They went out and she had sex with the guy on the 3rd date, and he said every man for himself. Once they started having sex, he said every man for himself. And she was like, oh, well, I don't want to date him anymore because he said every man for himself, which is wild to say to someone that
what the at this were there any signs of anything else prior?
I don't know. You know what? I should ask her to come on,
because I think I've misread flags before, you see what I'm saying, or thought it was nothing, and then I started paying more and more attention to what people were saying before the date. Like, I prefer like a 2-week, not every day we have to talk, but I just want to give you enough time to say something stupid. You know what I'm saying? Or say something. You never know. I've saved a lot of money doing that and spent a lot of money doing that, not doing that. So just listen and comb over everything. And because the first 2 conversations could be people put their best foot forward, right? Or try to. And then, but when they start getting comfortable, because now the fake phone voice goes away, they start cursing a little bit more, and they start getting comfortable, and you be like, oh, there she go, or there he go. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So just I'm just curious.
I've been waiting on you to see when you were going to appear, sir. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Or even I saw another meme, and I hate that I couldn't pull this video because oh, I just want to say this. Tihu says eye syphilis does not go away completely. It remains latent in the body. Man, like
I think they all syphilis does that, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought that syphilis was curable, but I don't know the
I
eye.
think it lays dormant. If I'm trying to remember,
Jesus Christ.
what was that stuff in school? I could have swore like it lays dormant. It's like if you have like chicken pox or something, you have the shingles or whatever that.
Herpes is like that. Herpes will lay dormant, but it will have an outbreak, right? But I didn't know eye syphilis. But I also would assume that the eye is a very sensitive. I mean, it's that's a very sensitive organ. So yikes. We may need an OBGYN to come on and talk to us about this. But all these things are a part of sex. And when you're having sex with people you don't know, even with people you do know, but when you're having sex specifically early on, these are some of the things that you have to worry about. Syphilis causing blindness is twofold. That man.
Oh, cancer now.
Yeah, cancer always there are certain forms of cancer. Cervical cancer.
Michael Douglas.
What?
Michael Douglas had cancer of the throat going down on the old girl.
We don't know that's.
No, that's what it. Look it up. Look it up. We ain't going to look. Google it, y'all. Google it. I would not lie on this old man.
I'm taking a Google break.
I would not lie on this old man. Michael Douglas, Catherine. I don't know if he got it from her, but that's how you could get it. I'm dead serious. He got it taken care of though. They caught it. Yeah.
How do you know that? Hold on, I'm looking it up.
I saw it on Entertainment Tonight. They're talking about.
Oh no, it says that Michael Douglas said he suffered from tongue cancer, not throat cancer.
Well,
he did say that oral sex caused my cancer.
And there we have
it. HPV transmitted through oral sex.
There you go.
Was responsible for the cancer.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Y'all didn't know that fishy smell came with something, did you? There you go.
Seriously, I am having a reaction.
Yeah. Yeah, fellas.
It says there was a walnut-sized tumor at the base of my tongue that no other doctor had seen. Shortly afterwards, he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, which is often terminal, and embarked on an extensive 8-week course of chemotherapy and radiation. Oh my God, his palate was burnt on account of the treatment.
Couldn't taste no food or nothing.
He said he couldn't taste any food, liquids only. Okay, the treatment works, and he is now more than 2 years clear of cancer.
Yeah, so we might want to pull back a little, fellas. You know, that goes along with it too.
HPV, and it says HPV is a sexually transmitted virus best known as the cause of cervical cancer and anal cancer and genital warts.
Yikes.
We have gone down a dark road.
Yeah.
We have gone down a dark road.
But remind me, I have a dating disaster. It's not mine, but somebody gave me the clearance to tell.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go into it now, because this is I'm just yes, let's go into the dating disaster. Let's go into the dating disaster now, because oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay, so she just moved to Atlanta in, I don't know what year, but by the movie, I can tell you the year.
Okay.
Or you can figure out the year. So she went through a drive-through. She met the guy online, and they went through a drive-in, pardon me.
Okay.
They went through a drive-in, and they were watching the movie 300. So this is maybe 05, maybe 04, 05.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to the concession stand. She came back. The dude was, he was yanking his joint to
masturbate
300 to 300. Yes. And she said he was grunting and groaning, and she was like, she panicked and shut the door and went back in to the concession stand and called her girlfriend, and then he wound up coming back to her and was trying to calm her down and was like, it ain't nothing. And this was her introduction to Atlanta. She said she was here for maybe about 3 months at that time. Yeah. She wanted to tell, I forgot what happened. She wanted to tell the story, but yeah, that's what happened. So imagine that. Dude pouring this joint out to 300. And she said every time she sees Sparta and people talk about that, she always thinks of that.
Whoa.
So can you?
What do you think? What what causes that behavior? What causes that?
I ain't never done that one. And if it did, wasn't to no 300. And it wasn't in front of her.
That is crazy.
And she was like, you know, it's kind of like, you hear all these things. I think she was from the Carolinas. You hear all these things about being here.
Atlanta, and it's like,
and for that to happen, it's like, yo, what?
Atlanta is like the boogeyman. Like, woo.
There it is. Exactly.
Like, but oh, wow. You know what? I don't even know what I don't even know. That is the worst. That is.
So what would you be more shocked at? He's doing the 300 or he's just doing it?
I would be shocked, period. Like, first of all, I don't really like the drive-in because of the connotation that the drive-in has, you know?
Oh, and that's the other thing. She said the truck was rocking. She said when he left, she said he just wanted to finish. He said he didn't even stop.
Then, wait a minute. Did she get back in the car with him afterwards?
No, she opened the door and was looking. You know, she had to kind of jump up. It was a higher truck. And she said she just sat there with the door open for a minute and he wouldn't stop. And then she shut the door, went back to the concession stand, and he came back after he finished. And she said she know he finished. And he was like, well, at least come in the car. I'm not doing it. But she said, I'm not leaving. And she waited for her girlfriend to come pick her up home.
Good for her. Good for her. Yeah, I would not have gotten back in that car at all.
300? First of all, anything. Why are you even doing it?
I've never seen 300, but he obviously just.
It's a very masculine film. It's a very lot of men with the shirts off. And
so maybe that's what somebody in the chat said, that he was not a straight man.
Oh, well, yeah, we get that part at this point.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know 300 was like a lot of Roman gods or something. Is that what?
Yes.
Mm.
So,
wow.
But to even have what he thought he was going to get it real quick, and then like, I don't understand.
I don't know. That is really creepy. That's probably.
And he was an avid guy in the gym. He worked out. I don't know if he was a personal trainer, but she said he was in the gym every day. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, we're not going to make this a witch hunt against men with.
No, I'm not. I'm just putting that out there.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to assume that all men with muscles are doing those type of things. But that is shocking. That is shocking. Bless her heart.
Yeah.
I think men do so much to test women. So I think he couldn't have thought that he would have finished in time. He probably was thinking that she would come back and be okay with it.
And just watch or participate?
I don't know.
Who would be okay with that?
That is, I don't know. I don't know. Men do weird things.
Only prostitutes would be okay with that. And then why would you take a prostitute to a drive-in?
Why would you take anybody to a drive-in?
That's a great question, because I don't know who goes to drive-ins anymore. But
I don't know why. Even back then, like I would not go to the drive-in. That's weird.
Seen a lot of good movies when I was young in the drive-in.
We were young, but not in the.
Now I had to duck in the back seat or hide in the trunk to do it, but I saw a lot of good movies.
Man, oh my God.
Beat Street was the last movie I saw in the drive-in. I'll tell you how long. Beat Street and Break-In. It was a double feature. And we sat there for 4 hours and watched both of them.
You know what? The last movie I saw in the drive-thru was The Muppets Take Manhattan.
What?
It
How old were
was.
you?
Huh?
How old were you?
Like 7.
I guess. Okay.
Yeah, my mom, we went as a family, and I remember because the reason I remember is because you guys know those big monsters in the Muppets, the big ones that are like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
I was so scared of them, and they look so big on
Hold
the
on.
screen.
Hold on. Wasn't you on Sesame Street on the episode of Sesame Street?
Yes, but I was not with a big monster. I was with Oscar the Grouch. And I wanted to
That's
be
not more scary. It's just as scary. He's in a trash can.
no, but he's little, and I could see he wasn't really like it's a person back there. He was little. I knew it wasn't real, but those monsters look big. Anyway, yes, I was a Grouchketeer, and I had a trash can hat, and um,
She got the footage somewhere, y'all. Hopefully put it out there.
I had a trash can hat, and like they smeared like to make it look like there was dirt on my face. Yeah. But no,
Yeah.
that movie but yeah, The Muppets Take Manhattan was the last movie I saw at the drive-in. And this big old monster scared me, and I was like, I'm never going back here again. I'm sorry, guys. I was up very, very late working, and so I am extremely tired. But yeah, you know what? I was not I was scared at Chuck E. Cheese, but also Showbiz Pizza. Do y'all remember Showbiz Pizza before Chuck E. Cheese?
That must have been a Southern thing.
There was a big gorilla
Selling pizza?
in a band. He was in a band. It was horrible. It was horrible. Okay, she said, "You're looking really handsome, Mo. Love that shirt. Hold that tiger."
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Man, that is wild. Yes. Man, your poor friend. Your poor friend. Okay. Well, you guys give us some more dating disasters. Why don't you tell us one, Mo?
I just told you one.
No, yours. One of yours.
Oh, well, it's not a dating. It's a dating story. I'll tell you the story about the I probably shouldn't say the story, but damn it, I'm gonna tell it.
Tell it anyway. Tell it. Come on.
Talking about and there's a witness in this chat, and they can verify this story.
How many people do you have in the chat?
No, just one. It's this. It's C-Dub.
Oh, C-Dub, we need you to come on. Okay.
He can verify this story.
Okay.
So I meet a young lady at a gas station. Talk. She has a friend. It's all of us in the house. They're an R&B group. I was a rapper. Our manager just had us in one big house. You know, my friends be like, yo, they got any friends? Somebody hooks up with her girlfriend. I hook up with the girl. We get together. And I forgot what had happened, but we were intimate at some point. Early, super early, right?
Okay.
And maybe this is the reason why we shouldn't, how we're talking about. But she came to me and was like, I'm pregnant. And me, I was either about to be 22 or was 22. It was around that area in the fall. My birthday's in the fall. So she was like, yeah, and I need money for this abortion. I mean, this money for this termination.
Okay.
I don't know if YouTube gonna let me say certain words.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. And it's the strange part, and there was a reason for it. And I can get in, it's a medical reason why with me and her, it wouldn't have been, I wound up seeing that later. It wouldn't have been sufficient to have the child, right?
Okay.
So meanwhile, her girlfriend fell out, and she's at our house all the time with my homeboy that was seeing her.
Okay.
They fell out. She tells me, she was like, I'm waiting to give her the money. She's on her way. Maybe 30 minutes away.
Okay.
The girl comes out the room and was like, Mo, I got to be honest with you. She was that way before you met her.
She was already pregnant?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. she was in college, or she had stopped going to college, but the guy she was seeing was still in college, and she was already that way. And she was like, "Yo, I just got to be honest with you." They called me, they came out, so I sat there and I waited for her to come. I went out to the house, outside the house. She pulled up, and I cussed her out.
Did she admit?
I can't remember. This is 32 years ago, and but she didn't deny. I just remember her like shocked, and then just went away. Never tried to contact me again, which confirmed it because she didn't try to fight it. She didn't try to, you know what I'm saying. And she knew the other person who knew was in the house.
Right. Oh, wow.
And kind of gave me the information, but she was trying to get that quick little 300 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And and that's when. So when I say I have trust issues, they're from situations like that, right?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell too much of my business, but that was the situation, and so not all of it is from bad things or people being insecure. It's from real situations that happen in life.
Yeah.
And it's not it just makes you leery of who's honest out here and who's not, who's playing games and so on and so forth. So and the man in here, he can verify to the story. I wouldn't lie on anybody like that, but that always bothered me. And I was like, wow, you would really go to that length to, not that she I can't remember. She was coming out the gas station, and I
stepped out the gas station.
yeah, and I stepped to her and all like that, and it was on, and I think I went to the house once or twice, and I can't remember the in between, but I just know she was like, "Yo, I'm this, I don't want to do this. I'm trying to go back to school, so we need to, or you need to." I can't remember which one it was. I don't know if I was paying all or half. I can't remember. Like I said, it was 32 years ago.
And you were like not even 20 yet.
Huh?
You were like not even 20?
No. I was 20. I was about to be 22. If I wasn't already. No, I was right about to be 22.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 21 going on 22. And I wasn't even here, 5 months? Not even 4 months. But I just remember that feeling of like, yo, you would go to that length to like put that on or off and on again, dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And turn around and put it on me. So I just wanted to put that out. That's my disaster.
That is a disaster. That is a dating disaster. I'll share one because I think that people, we all do stupid stuff, and this is one of my stupid things that I did. This is gonna pain me. And ladies, first of all, don't come for me because I'm telling you this happened a long time ago, and I would not do anything like this now. This was me going through my period of trying to find myself. But I will be honest about this. It's kind of like, there's a time when you are starting to question yourself, right? And I remember like I had standards, and there was a time that I started to question my standards because I thought maybe they were too high, and maybe, I wouldn't find anybody that fit those standards. And that is so not true. So this is after, because I was married all of my 20s, I was married and had 2 kids and didn't get divorced until 32, 33. And so I was brand new dating in Atlanta in my 30s. Not a great place to be, but that's why I made a lot of mistakes. So I remember I met this guy, and he was not necessarily the type of gentleman I would usually date, right? And so because I got to the point where I was like, okay, maybe I'm being I'm asking for too much, and I just need to look for a good person. And so let me open up my my dating, like the pool of people I'll date, scope. Yes. And yes, Ladybug 07, Jacaris is still with us. Yes, he is. Thank you for inquiring. So many people are asking about him, and I can't wait. Next week you guys should be able to see him, but he's good. So anyway, I'm just dating. I meet this guy, and he is definitely a blue collar worker. He is not necessarily as far along in his professional journey as one would hope. So, I met him online, and he just seemed like he was just kind of rough around the edges, to put it lightly. So he told me that he was trying to get a transportation company started, and he was, of course, very impressed with the fact that my business was up and going. My business had been up and going for a while, and hello, Christal Moe and my XO fam and Aquarius. We appreciate that. He appreciates the love, Pretty Parker. So yeah, so this guy was he was a single father. He had 3 kids, and he would work for like a warehouse plant, and he had left that job and was trying to start a transportation business that would pick up people from the airport and take them different places. Now, this is before Uber was
Okay.
a big thing here, right? So I meet him, we go out, we have a good time. He seems like he's just kind of down on his luck. And he did, he took me out, paid for the date and everything. So we're talking, and he was attractive, but again, like, how you could just tell somebody's not quite on the level that you are. And he just seemed like he was just not quite there. So he shows me that, he's getting ready to get a house. He didn't have any place to live, and he had 3 kids. So we're talking for like a month. He tells me that, and we hadn't been able to go out, but I think like twice. And he tells me that he calls me and he says that he hates to ask me for anything, but if I could loan him like $200 because he doesn't have money for food for his kids, and the kids are with him. And I felt so bad. I fell for it, right?
Okay.
I did. I gave him the $200.
Ouch.
Yeah, and because I thought, I will say this. I thought, now, I am a woman that never took money from guys, right? But I was thinking, like, I feel bad for this guy, and maybe I am, you know, in a place where I could bless somebody else. And when he really, of course, for me, anybody that talks to me knows that I am, my kids were everything to me. So I see this man, and you see a dad trying to be a good dad, and he's saying he doesn't have, and he just hates it. So I sent him the money. He promised he was going to give it right back to me. Of course, as we all know, he did not give it back. So then I got furious, right, at the fact that he played me, because I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe this dude played me. I know better than that, because it's supposed to be like, I'm gonna give it back to you at the end of the week. And then I didn't hear from him anymore. Didn't hear from him. And I called him, and he was like, he just didn't have it. And yes, the kids, he did use the kids as the bait. He did have the kids, but he was just a loser. And the crazy thing was, I cut him off. I had one of my guy friends, call him and like threaten him, but of course we couldn't find where he was. And because I get mad, like, I'm really nice. When I get mad,
You
I get.
loan money to a man you didn't know where he lived?
Well, we went to this. He took me to this place that he was supposed to be moving into. He
Okay.
had the key, and he showed me the house. He was real, excited about it. He was like, "This is the house." And it was a nice house. It was an okay house. And so he did show, like, it did look like he was really trying. But yes, he was a dusty. So the crazy thing was, I stopped talking to him and I blocked him. So maybe a year and a half later, I'm on the site. Do you know that this Negro reaches out to me again on the dating site?
Did he recognize you?
I don't know. And I said, "You owe me $200." And he was like, "I just feel like I messed up with you." I said, so me, I'm like, I want to get my money back. So I said, if you send me the $200, then I'll go out with you again. I never heard from him again.
You should have said agree to a date and let the bill run up to $200.
I should have agreed to a date and had one of my cousin or somebody there to beat his. But yes, just a dusty, and so it's crazy because I have literally always made it a point to never ever give a guy money, because I've loaned my friends money, right? Because guys I'm friends with, I don't really hold them to the same level of standard that I would somebody I'm dating. So I don't mind loaning my friends money, and they loan to give it back, and we blah 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 blah. But I've always said I would never loan a guy I'm dating money. And I did, because I literally was so moved by the fact that he was a single father trying, and I felt empathy for him, and I learned my lesson: never ever do that ever. But the fact that this Negro tried me again a year and a half later on the same dating site.
I don't like loaning money. I'd rather just give it, because I don't want them kind of problems. I never gave a lot of money. I bought groceries though.
Well, I didn't take money from guys, because I had a guy tell me one time, I know you need some tires for your car, and asked me to go. Told me if I went out on a date with him, he would buy tires for my car, and I was like,
they're bartering for dates.
I was like, I will write some bios. Like, I will not. Yeah, I got played for 200, but I will consider it a charitable donation. But I always tell women, I tell my daughter this, like, there is never a man that you would want to date should never ask you for money. If anything, he should not feel comfortable doing that. Now, if you guys are in a relationship and you guys are working towards him being a part of your future, you guys are engaged, and I don't know. But I just know that never, when you're dating a man, should you ever give him money. I also have another bad story. Y'all, I was dating this pastor.
Oh, here we go.
Man, I had some horrible dating stories. So I was dating this pastor.
Pastor Troy?
No, not Pastor Troy. Pastor Troy's a very nice man.
No, I like Pastor Troy.
I like Pastor Troy. He's a good guy. But no, I was dating this pastor. And do you all know that he sent me a request for a donation for this charity he was the owner of, his charity? And I was like, and Mary, he got me with that first lady thing, because he kept telling me that he saw me as his first lady. And so he invites me to the church. He is not the senior pastor, he is a junior pastor. And the church is not at capacity. Let's just say that. It is not at capacity. So I was like, what type of first lady would I be here? First of all, you are not even the first man. If anything, I would be a second lady. And the church was the size of this room. But anyway, he asked me for money. And I said, did you just ask me for a donation? And he said, well, I thought you would want to donate. And I was like, I feel some kind of way about you asking me for, it wasn't even a storefront. It was a tiny, tiny, dilapidated building.
Like, I put the money in the thing like everybody else. But
yeah, no. But he sent me, this was another nonprofit that he did. And you guys know, in Atlanta, people are scamming for nonprofits. And he was like, you and I together will be this power couple, and you could. And I just was like, nah, bruh. He was dusty for the Lord. I dated 2 pastors.
Dusty for the Lord. That is hilarious.
I dated 2 pastors. This other pastor I met at Whole Foods. Y'all had a bad time. Thank God Adrian showed up.
Woo!
A lot of frogs. I met a pastor at Whole Foods, right? And of course you think, okay, well, he's in here. He's into health, right? He's into eating healthy, So we talked on the phone and everything. He invited me out, and he's handsy as hell. And I'm just like, at this point, I'm celibate. I'm like, I'm celibate. He was not celibate. And neither was the other pastor. Neither of the pastors were celibate.
That's part of the rules. They gotta be.
Well, I think they're not supposed to be fornicating.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And and the one pastor, and I hate to say this is probably TMI, but it's just ridiculous. The pastor, the first pastor that asked me for the money, he said, "Well, you know, I'm a man. I like to get my penis sucked." And I was like,
and there we have it.
"There we have it."
Hey, I was trying to tell women, if he's a man, I guess it don't matter if he's heterosexual or not, but we still, I mean, come on now. You can't put the thing back in. The hat is already out. If you like it, you like it now.
I'm telling you, I could not believe the pastor said that. And it just kind of gave me like, whoa. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. That's so Marriott, yes. See, I was trying things, right? I was trying different things and I never wanted to date people in the church, but I went on so many dates that were against what I really truly wanted. And that's why I tell you all, I saw some people in the chat earlier say that they've given up on love. And
no, don't do that, y'all.
Yeah, I think that's easy to say sometimes because we're hurt, right? But the reality is I was doing all this stuff trying to make something fit that I really, deep down in my heart, that was never what I wanted. I never wanted to be with, I saw so many hypocritical men in the church that I didn't want that. And when I ran into those hypocritical pastors, it just reinforced that's not what I wanted anyway. You know, it was bad. And yes, he was like Reverend Leon Lonnie Love. My girlfriends clown me to death for dating the pastor because he was a wee little man. And it's just not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted. But I'll tell you what, to prove that there is joy and there is peace and there is restoration on the other side of your heartbreak.
Look at you now.
Yesterday, guys, I had to get this sofa that I have this for my new setup here. And I called Adrian. I was like, babe, we got to go get this couch. So we go get the couch and the couch is longer and heavier than I thought because I was thinking that he and I were going to lift it up together and it was too heavy for me. When I tell you, I saw my husband go in there and lift that couch and figure out how to get it out the door by himself. And he just seemed so manly. And so I was just like, I am trying to get home quick, fast, in a hurry, because there is something about a man just being a man that feels so good to be a woman. And it was just, it was amazing. I enjoyed it. I just wanted to share that. Yes.
With that being, I like that. With that being said, what do you think the opposite of that is when a man sees a woman doing what?
I want to ask you. I don't know. Cooking?
The fact that you're a woman, you don't know that?
Well, I'm saying I don't know what would make a man feel like that. And I asked him, I said, because I told him I was like, because I had that conversation with the guy from Ashley Madison. And he said that a lot of men don't feel appreciated and desired by their women. So I made sure that as soon as I told him, I saw him lifting that couch and he did this thing with the door. He knew how to lift the door up so it stayed open. And then I came home and the couch was in the house. I don't know how he got it in the house, but it was already in the house. And I just wanted to hurry up and take my clothes off. But I asked him what made him, I told him that, that made me turned on seeing him do that. And I asked him what turns him on that way. And he said, just watching me walk around the house in boy shorts. So I don't know. I'm assuming if I was cooking in boy shorts, it'd probably be better. But I'm asking you as a man, right, what makes you guys feel like that?
Well, I would say at that point, that would, correct me if I'm wrong, that would be an act of service he did, right?
Yes.
Okay. So
manly service.
Right. So we saying feminine service, right?
Yes.
And I don't want to get this confused with like a servant. But you see a woman, it's something about a woman that makes something like, you know what I'm saying? Like it from scratch if you can, but that prepares something. Steam coming out the kitchen and you smell the smell, and you're like, wow. And then it's presented to you on a plate with a big possible tray wherever you're at, right? Like here, she makes sure you have everything you need. That just makes me feel warm and fuzzy. And there's a lot of men that feel that way.
Yeah.
True. And it's not catered, and it's not an everyday thing, but that thing, your juice, you got everything you need, thank you, or and just make sure you're good.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the boy shorts or whatever, but I like the fact that a woman made something with her hands to give to me, and I appreciate that. I really, really do. Not warm something up. I mean, if you warmed it up from when you cooked it, yeah. But I'm saying,
So you think that it feels different if she were to make like a something out of a box as opposed to.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
The fact that you made it and you took time. Like I told you, I had a situation where I had an ex and she was asking me, did I want a sandwich? I was like, yeah, all right. She came back with turkey sandwiches, the pickle, the potato chips on the side, the whole thing. And I'm like, where's your sandwich? He's like, no, I just wanted to know if that blew me because I'm not used to that. I wasn't used to that, doing something solely for me.
Yeah.
If you were doing it for you and you wanted to ask if I was because you were being courteous, that's cool too.
Yeah.
But it really blew my mind. Like, wow.
She was taking care of her man.
Because I wasn't used to.
So Ladybug07 says, I cook good and crochet beanies. What's good, Mo? I'll warm your belly and your head. I've never seen you wear a beanie.
I did one time. I'm glad I didn't see you when I wore it because I know you. I want one. No. What? Oh, the crochet beanies?
Yeah. Like the common beanies.
I did one time. Yes, I did. I did. I'm being honest with you. I wasn't confident in it.
Does your head get cold in the wintertime?
Not like you think. My ears get cold, not necessarily my head.
That's weird.
I know, ain't it? I mean, I got some pictures on my Instagram where I got the beanie, the real big winter one. I don't know if that's what she was referring to. Because they done came back.
She said she crochets them, so
they came back. Yeah, so it depends, but I just think when someone does something for you and it's something they took their time with, and it's something detailed, like you're getting seasoning, you're making sure it's right.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I really appreciate that. Whether it's breakfast, like I love lasagna. Like I don't ask for much. I'll just be glad I'm eating. So I don't really be like, hey, how come you didn't? Oh, I'm tired of this. I eat leftovers for a week. I don't care.
Oh no, mine does not. He does not eat. He eats it twice. He did one time and one more time, and that's it. But I wonder, like, because I know for me as a woman, I can be honest. I do feel when you cook something for your man and you do spend a lot of time, it makes you feel good. And you want him to enjoy it. Like we went to this. Before the concert a couple of weeks ago, we went to this barbecue spot and they had brisket on a baked potato. It was so good. I think Adrian told you about it. We both went there and we're like, it was our first time and we both were like, oh my God, it was delicious. And he was just going on and on about that brisket and the potato. And so I was like, I can make that at home. And so I could not wait because I really got up. I made sure my brisket was tender. It was just falling off. It was just so tender. And I created the whole thing and I surprised him with it. And he was super excited. And one thing I appreciate about my husband is that he will he will let you know that he appreciates something. A lot of times you can do something for a man and they're not appreciative.
Don't do it.
They don't vocalize it. I can't say they're not appreciative, but they're not vocal about it.
Vocalize it for the woman, man. She took that time, man. It's all right. Don't feel shame. It's good.
Yeah. And I think on both sides, because I think that, I am by nature a really shy person when it comes to being with a guy. So I'm not the type that would always compliment a guy in a sexual manner or tell him that, I thought he was sexy or things like that. That's not necessarily my nature, but I had to learn how to do that. Yes, C-Dub, he did tap his feet. And that's how I could tell when he starts moving and he's eating, he was like, whoop, and he ate all of it. And it was like, it was really good. But it was the fact that I knew I could make something that he really, really liked. And I think most women appreciate that when a person is in love with you, you want to do everything that you can to make that person happy and vice versa. I do want to play this clip because I couldn't pull it up for us to play here, but I want to play this. And I think I can put it up to the speaker so you guys can hear, because I want to show, I think this is really important. You and I have talked about this so many times. I sent this to you. And I think that this is really, really important for people to understand. Like, it's not necessarily, sometimes it can be two good people that just may not be the right person for you.
Or it could be bad timing too.
It could be bad. It could be bad timing, but I think most importantly, sometimes even if it's bad timing, that's just not the person. But let's see if we can. I don't know if you guys can hear this. Hold on.
A man would do any and everything y'all say men don't do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
With the woman he likes.
Yeah, you know how many? Wait, did you hear?
I'm trying to take it back.
No, a man will do everything that y'all. I'm not majority black.
Not until a woman realizes that a man will communicate with the woman that he likes. It's not that men have issues communicating.
A man would
it's
do
that
any and everything y'all say men don't do with the woman he likes.
Yeah, you know how many? Wait, did you hear what he just said?
No, a man will do everything that y'all say men don't do and men ain't capable of, and ain't no more men like this. He would do all that without having to be prompted.
Yeah.
And he would do it with joy and glee for the woman he actually liked.
And
so sometimes it ain't, he won't do it for you.
It's not until a woman realizes that.
So I'm sorry, my phone is cracked. Y'all can't see good.
Yeah. You know what? In the reason why I think a lot of times, from a male's perspective, I think we wait around to see if we could get ourselves to do it, even if she's a good woman. There's something in your soul that moves you. It's this indescribable thing. And I think sometimes we force things because this person is a good person. But for some reason, you can't get yourself to do it. Either you're not ready or she ain't it. And spend a lot of time holding up other people's lives.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, you'll never get blessed for that. Like, if you know this person really wants something from you or really wants something, you're not able to get it. I promise you, you'll never be blessed. If you know you're not there, man, let that woman go. Like, for real. Like, I think we think it's going to get better, or even worse, what we do is, well, we'll hold on that till something better comes along. And that's messed up. And I really think that's foul, especially when you know better and you know that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you know this woman is a good woman, but you ain't figured out what you wanted, man. It's like I always say, like, if I'm trying to give you something in this hand and you're holding one thing and I'm trying to give you this, the only way you can receive this is if you let that other thing go.
Let that go. Yeah, there's a meme that's like that, like where God is trying to give you something, a teddy bear, and he's like this, and the little girl has a teddy bear, she's holding it, and he has a bigger one behind his back, but she won't let go of that. He's like, give it to me, she won't let go.
All the time, man. That's a real thing.
True. Yeah.
And some people, I think some men, sometimes I think the excuse is that, believe it or not, they're scared of the unknown or not knowing, and they're never going to tell you that.
Right.
You know, but they're scared because they don't know, and if all else fails, and no one wants to be the if all else fails.
Yeah.
And I think we gotta keep that in mind, man. Especially if you're a person of faith, man. Have faith, but you really not gonna get it if you're
locked in with the wrong thing. It's no way. I think that's a good idea. Rose said maybe open this up for questions from the audience. If you guys have questions,
please tap in, y'all.
Put them in the chat, and it could be questions about anything. Obviously, we are open tonight.
Come on,
questions about Jaquarius, questions about anything that you have, specifically when it comes to dating.
Crystal's hat size, whatever you want to talk about.
which would surprise you. But no, we are happy to answer any questions. Let's talk about, we went on Portia today. If you have Fox Old, make sure that you check out the Portia show. It aired today at 7 p.m., but I believe that they'll probably have a rerun, or you can look it up online if you go to the Portia show, PortiaTV.com. And basically, we went on the show. We had two young ladies that came on the show with us, and we basically talked about what we do here on YouTube, the fact that we have this show, the Dating Diaries, and we talk about dating disasters and dilemmas. One of the young ladies is a doctor, and she is 51 years old. She is starting over. She's divorced, and she was not really sure where to start when it came to dating. And so we just encouraged her to really kind of come out of that energy, because she said that she doesn't necessarily tell people that she's a doctor, but she tells them that she works in the medical industry. And I tell her, I think it's about energy. And I think when people can sense what you don't say, right? So I think the way you carry yourself, the confidence that you have, a lot of times it can still be in that space. So my, advice to her was to really make sure that you come out of that energy at the hospital before you go on a date. Make sure that you kind of have a moment to step out of those shoes and step into your dating, flirting, feminine shoes, so that you can actually, and don't, it's nothing wrong with telling him that you're a doctor, but don't focus the conversation on that. Focus the conversation on things about yourself that have nothing to do with work. And so we had another young lady that beautiful young lady. Both of them were beautiful young ladies. This one had a transportation company, and she works with mostly men. And she was just like, it's kind of difficult to find a man when you work with men all the time. A lot of men are intimidated by that. And what did we share with her, Mo?
I think the fact a lot of it, like when we talked, you said come out of your shoes, right? Mm-hmm. We were just talking about like literally sometimes come out of your shoes, change your, you don't necessarily. Now, let me ask you, do you recommend mixing the two?
Business and work?
Like if you have a client and you know someone that has a client and they say, Christal, this person is a client, first time, they keep asking me on a date, I don't really know. Is that something you recommend? Or
I don't, because I just think it can be it's hard to come out of that role, right? Because if you can't, when you meet someone in a working environment, you can't ever step out of that working environment to be comfortable being yourself. And for her, she is the boss in the situation. And so I think it would be difficult for her to date someone in that industry that is doing that. I don't suggest it, but I also think that there's no such thing. I am not God. I'm not the end all be all. So there are situations that do work, but I just think that it's not, for me, I think it cannot be a good situation, because number one, you don't want to mess up your money, right? And you also don't want to put yourself in a position where you are looked at, because things talk, people get around. And when you're a woman in business, you have to really go out of your way to make sure that you're taken seriously, and that, people don't look at you as someone that's there for anything other than business. So I don't believe in mixing the two. Especially for me, like I worked in a very male dominated industry. And for a while I was so standoffish with men, because it was you and I became friends because it was a safe situation. But I was not close to anybody else that I worked with for a long time because I had to make sure that they understood that there were boundaries there, and I wanted to be respected. And I was married at the time when I first started working in the business. But after I was divorced, I saw how men treated me. And I will say this, I don't think men understand there is such a difference in the way men treat you when you're married and when you're not, when it comes to business. So when you're not married and they know that there's nobody there, they'll be slick. They'll try to get over in a different way than they will when they know that there's a man that they have to be accountable to if they were to be, do something
Absolutely
inappropriate. So I don't believe in mixing the two, but I think for her, we told her, it's almost like you have to change your energy. You have to be in control of your job, but you don't want to be bossing around your date. And that can happen very easily. She's a mother of young children, and she's in a position where she's telling people what to do and then mothering her children. So she has to be really intentional about, not taking that energy on a date and making time for it, which can be difficult.
And that's what I was saying to her. Like, you come in and you wear certain type of clothes at work, right?
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't be the clothes that you wear on a date. Clothes can affect your energy, can change your energy, whether it's temporarily. And I just think that if you switch up and let's say you're out on a date, you have to have a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Business, right? Step away. Don't do it there because I think you'll continue that energy with that person, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you can't step away, then afterwards, go to the bathroom. I don't know, take 3 deep breaths and come back out. And I just think that in her case, or in a lot of women's case, if you have a job that's 24/7, right? Even when you think the business is going, they'll tell you, well, these are only guys that they really meet.
Yeah.
And I've heard that a lot. And I'm just like, I kind of get that. And I have a rule. Like, if you deal with a woman that deals with, let's say, I don't know, she could be anything from whatever she does. I'll give her one guy to that thing. But what happens is you'll meet women and we say as men, she belongs to the game, whatever game that is. If she dates athletes, she belongs to the game. She dates actors, she belongs to that. I'll give you one. I'm not giving you the whole team.
The whole team is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you belong to the game because all you date is these, and these guys talk.
They do.
And then at that point, it's like that's not your girl. It's your turn, and then it's your turn. You see what I'm saying? Because you step away. Now, I would tell women, like, look, you may be able to roll the dice on one, but after that, you got to. It would help to cut it short.
You got to figure out really what you want, because I think it would have been very easy for me to date several men in the business, right? Numerous. Like, it would have been easy because that's all I was around. And, I did go out with a couple, but I tried to, keep it kind of quiet and out of the way. But because I was a single woman in the entertainment business, definitely would have been very easy to make that, and you could be in a room and be like, oh no, it's it's multiple people in this room that I've gone out with, which is not a good feeling. So I think as a woman, you have to be, it's just not, life is not fair. You have to be very careful. And I think men should too, because yes, men say women belong to the game. But I was telling a girlfriend today, she told me she went out with this guy that's very popular here in Atlanta. And I was like, he's community property. A lot of girls, it's a lot of girls have been with him. I would not, that's not somebody that I don't want to be out with my man and everybody's like, oh, they done had him or he's done been, I don't want to feel like that.
It feels like, I don't know, but it feels like women don't mind because they want to feel like they're the ones that got him. That's number one.
I don't feel like that.
I don't know if it's like that, but that's what it feels like. And then the other thing is like, men don't mind.
Men don't mind.
That's a badge of honor to some men, to walk around here and be. But I will say this: the older I got, and I can't be the only one.
Yeah.
But you start to be okay, my shit is more exclusive now. I don't want to say, I don't know what point it turns for men, but there's a curve that you turn the corner and you be like, yo, I want to be like, nah, I'm not. You don't want to, you know, you want to make it exclusive or more, you want to be selective. You don't want to be, that's a young man's sport if you're still doing that at a certain age.
Yeah. I just, sometimes it feels like, man, it takes them a long time to get to that point.
Well, once again, that man has to experience that. If not, not all men, but they feel like they're missing something. So any guy you see like that in their 40s and 50s, I promise you, we had a guest last week, and then I asked him. It's the same thing. Ask him what he was doing in his 20s. That's why I do not recommend it, because certain dudes feel like they missed out. And if they never got at their system, it's pathetic. But if he's married at 23, divorced at 36, he picks right back up at 23.
He does. It's a delayed maturity. It's a word for it. But I want to get to this question. Rose says, people often discuss the need for personal healing before dating, but we're also constantly striving to improve ourselves. How can you tell when you're ready to start dating again? I will say, from what I believe, is that the answer that I would give is when you understand what you did wrong in your past relationships. When you're able to, when you're not taking those, you're not blaming the past people, and you've forgiven yourself, right? So I think you have to make peace with your past. And you have to also have taken accountability for what you contributed to that in a responsible way. Whenever I meet someone, man or woman, and everything that they're telling me about why they're single is because of someone else, to me, that means you're not ready to date. If I say to a woman in this chat, you know, why do you think you're single? And the first thing you say is because all these men ain't no good and then to me, you're probably haven't done the work that you need to date, because you need to understand what it is that you are doing that is keeping you single. One of the things that I talked about on the show today was the fact that I was that person. So I'm not telling you guys anything that I'm not practicing myself. I went on Iyanla's show thinking that the reason I was single was because Atlanta has such a horrible dating pool. But as soon as I changed my outlook, I met a person that was amazing for me. And I didn't meet just one person. I started dating guys that were actually great options. They just weren't the option for me. So I didn't leave those situations hurt. I didn't leave those situations scarred, angry, resentful. It was like, oh, you know, that was a nice person. I still have relationships still friends with some of them, because we weren't intimate. We just dated, and I saw, wow, he's a really nice guy. This is just not what I want. So I think that the first thing you have to do is change your way of thinking. But number one, you have to figure out what it is that you've contributed to your past. We are the common denominator in all of our experiences. And so that's not saying that you're a bad person or that you did something wrong. But a lot of times how we were raised, what we've been taught, how we've been programmed has put us in a certain place, right? And so I think figuring out yourself and really understanding what you've done to get the result that you've gotten, and then what you can do to change that is key. And then also you really need to not have negative, painful feelings towards anyone from your past. If you are still, I remember, and Mo, you can remember this, when I first got divorced, I remember being on dates and sitting in the car with a guy, looking out the window, and tear coming down this side because I was still so hurt over what had happened in my marriage. I had no business being on that date. Like, that guy, he might as well not have even been there. You know, I literally can remember being that hurt and trying to force myself to push forward. And that's not fair. That's not fair. It was very unfair to that man that was taking me out, for me to be in that situation. Not that I was trying to hurt him, but you know, I just wasn't ready. And so I think if you're still in pain over a past situation, you're not ready to date. And I think if you cannot acknowledge where you have done wrong, or where you have contributed to your situation, then you're not ready to date either.
There you go. I like that. Everything she said, I agree with. I would just add one more thing. Like, when you're going through whatever your grace period or your healing period, you're good with being where you're at. Like, you're you find happiness with just yourself. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, you know what? I take myself out on a date, or I'm in home, or I'm spending time with family, and that's not even you're enjoying these things by yourself. You don't need, you know what I mean? You'd be like, well, if it comes, if I bump into some, but I'm happy here.
Right.
And
right.
then you could be, I really, really think that. That's
Yeah.
what
I don't think anybody wants to be with a person that is not happy, because I can't be responsible for your happiness. So if you haven't figured it out, I'm not going to be able to give it to you.
You waiting on somebody, like, it could be, people are ers. You can be happier.
Yeah.
You
There
have
you go.
happiness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And sadder.
Or there you go.
Yeah. That part. I do think this though. I think, and I tell my daughter this, I think dating teaches us about ourselves, right? I learned, that's like I told you guys, when I dated that guy that was rough around the edges and, was a scammer, obviously. I knew my spirit didn't feel right about that. I wasn't listening to my inner discernment. And I think all of us have it. If you just get still and really pay attention to what your spirit is telling you, your soul is saying to you, when something's not right. Every time a woman tells me that she's had an experience with a man, if she is honest with herself, whenever we have a real conversation, she'll tell me, well, I thought maybe like you knew that wasn't it. You knew it wasn't it. You just decided to push through anyway because that's what you wanted, or you wanted to believe something different. But no, you can't. I think getting in touch with yourself and really telling yourself that you deserve something amazing is the key. And then when it doesn't feel right, don't force it. Don't force it.
Love it. I like that.
What about you? What do you think? Because I hear a lot of, oh yeah, well, hold on, here Tina Bree has one. Why does it have to be the other person contributing to doing something wrong? Why couldn't it be the fact that the person was just a jerk? Maybe I missed something here.
No, we're not saying they're not. She's talking about the other person, right? Like, as far as why does it have to be you?
Mm-hmm.
No, there are cases like that.
There are jerks, but I think that, thank you, Black Lion Girl, but I'm not saying that people are not jerks, because obviously the one I went out with that asked me for $200 was a jerk. But you know what? Why was I going out with him? Why would I even have done that? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not about you doing something wrong. It's just about you figuring out, why am I not making better choices? Why is my picker wrong? Right? Why did I miss the signs of him being a jerk? So I did pick a jerk. And guess what? I knew, like I just said, I knew it wasn't right. I just thought, he was cute. I wanted to make something work. I felt bad for him. But guess what? It's not my job. I don't need to be with someone that I feel bad for and feel like I need to fix. And I felt like I needed to fix him. I made him a brochure for his company. Like, I was doing stuff that was unnecessary. And it was because I was trying, and I was afraid that maybe I won't find the type of man that I want. So maybe I was settling, coming down. And guess what? I played myself. So of course we don't get it right. And it's not that you're wrong, but I do think that we have to ask ourselves, why don't I pick better for myself? If someone gave you a plate of food and the food looked nasty, you wouldn't eat it, right? So why would you go out with someone that you had a feeling, even if it looked pretty on the, like, if you get a piece of cake and it looks beautiful on the outside, but you put it close to you and you kind of smell it and it's nasty, you're not going to eat it.
Or if it looked right, it smelled right, but the person that gave it to you had dirty hands or didn't wash their hands out. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes it's direct, sometimes it's indirect. I was always told, no matter what happens, it's your fault.
Yes, I agree with that. I think
because you still picked.
You picked them. You picked, and not just picked them, but stayed with them. So if the person is a jerk to you, that means they can only do what you allow them to do. So that means they did something to you that hurt you. And I'm not saying that you're responsible for your for someone hurting you, but you do have to get to a maturity level where you can say, you know what, I am not moving forward with this unless this feels 100% right to me. And that's difficult because so often, specifically, I can only speak from a woman's perspective. We say, okay, well, he doesn't have this, this, or this, but he's trying. And we make excuses for him because we want to be in a relationship. We want to feel love. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to feel love. But when you cheat, you can't cheat you can't cheat life, right? You can't cheat. So if you try to say, well, okay, it's not what I wanted, but it's something else, but maybe this will work because I need this right now. No, it doesn't work like that. You set your standards, you stick to them, you believe that you are worthy of someone that fits those standards. And then you walk towards that and you don't compromise.
And let's say I've seen situations where, you know, it could be a situation where there's people meeting and lounge, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
I know guys, one of their favorite lines early is, let me take you out.
Mm-hmm.
Let me take you to such, in the spot.
Mm-hmm.
And you might like the spot and you never been before, you want to, and you go.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, take your time, have conversations, call me on the phone, talk to me. That's part of courting.
That's part of courting.
Don't go. So what I'm saying is, the reason why I'm saying that is because take time to set up to see if you're going to get red flags.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get the red flag on the date. He might say something along before the date.
Right.
Like, nah, I don't need to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean, like indirectly your fault because you're not taking the time.
Yeah, because some people just want to rush into it. Like I have girlfriends that I pull from their examples for some of my for my conversation here. And you meet somebody and you're attracted to him and he looks good on paper and you just want to fast forward to
let me fly you
together.
And you go and then it's a horrible, you don't even know the man.
Yeah, you don't know him. You should. I would not recommend flying anywhere.
And that's they be like, well, and don't get me wrong, ladies. If a man flies you out, a man shouldn't expect sex or whatever, and that man is your daddy. Outside of that, if a man finds you out, he's expecting it. I'm sorry, I know. Well, no. If not, take your time. I'm telling you, ain't no man flying you out, and it's not at least. Now it might not happen, and he might try, and you might be like, and he fall back. But the man is in the man's mind. Yes.
Thank you. No man wants to take you on a trip, and you don't have to do nothing.
Hey, your hands work something.
Right. But you know what? I would say, because I've had guys say they wanted to see you. And if they want to, I would allow them to come, get their own hotel, get their own place. Because you can't stay with me. That is dangerous. Nowadays, it is dangerous, guys. We cannot be doing some of the things that people did back when we were younger and coming up, because it's we talk about mental health issues. There are people that go out with somebody, next thing you know, they're missing, or they are robbed them, or it's just, you just have to be careful.
Somebody that went out with a serial killer. Like, seriously,
I didn't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
They went out with a serial killer. And they were on the show and they were going to tell that story, but they didn't want to tell it. They went out with a serial killer.
That's what I'm saying. But seriously, you could go out with someone that we were watching the situation the other day with the gentleman that hijacked the bus and killed 2 people. And I was like, he's a very attractive man, well-spoken and crazy as a bed bug. So you really have to think more of yourself.
He's a very attractive man, according to the ladies.
Who?
Asian ladies. Ted Bundy.
Oh yeah, I did hear that. I did hear that. Brian, who is the guy that did that?
Brian Nichols.
Brian Nichols. A lot of women thought he was attractive. Like, just because a person looks attractive or a person looks like they're well kept does not mean that they're okay. Like, you can't judge a book by its cover, unfortunately. Never could, but especially now there's so much going on, so we have to be careful. You guys put any other questions that you have in the chat, but The queen said, I know someone who dated Ted Bundy. What? Okay, all right. Well, there's always somebody it's always something in the chat that trumps everything. I just, our chat is special. We always have somebody else.
Well, now I got a whole nother question for you, Jaqueezy, because how old are you for you to even what? Wow. That blew me. Okay.
Hey, a lot of psychopaths are charismatic. In fact, most of them I think are charismatic. I think charisma is
Except for Jeffrey Dahmer. Woof.
yeah, that she was the one who got away. You know what? See, the DeQueezy is 51, so she maybe had a friend that but seriously, there's a lot of that going on. What about there was the question about one very good man flew me out despite the fact that I told him I will not be staying at his home and will book my own hotel room. He did actually book my flight and hotel room. That's awesome. And I think if a person does, I told my daughter, like, if a man does that and gives you your itinerary, and another thing you have to be careful of, women, make sure that if he does book your hotel room, that your name is on the hotel and his is not. Because if his name is on there, he has a key, and then that can be you just don't want to go out of town and be at a disadvantage.
If I gotta fly a woman in, she gotta stay at a hotel. I'm not flying her in.
There are some guys that I've had guys do that, but it just depends. It just depends. You could
like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it just depends. It just depends. But I do think that I do appreciate the fact that you told women realistically 9 times out of 10.
I just thought about that. No, I had a situation and I didn't fly in. She was coming in.
Okay.
And she did it, but she still stayed that night in my house. She just changed clothes over there and came back and stayed the night in my house.
Oh, well, that's a different thing, though.
Yeah, I just thought about that. I didn't pay. I damn sure ain't pay for them tickets. Yeah.
Well, that's just very different. But it's like the girl that flew with Future and then got mad because he was trying to make a move on her. It's like, what did you think was going to happen?
Come on, man, grow. Come on, stop playing, man. Y'all want the flight out and y'all think it don't go like that. It don't go. I know what he said, but I know what he's thinking.
And that's why Scorpio Moe is here.
I'm going to convince you. You're going to see all this. I'm going to pull up in this car. Oh, you going.
Yes. We are taking questions. Come on with some more questions. This is good. And they could be questions about anything. If you guys have questions about Jaquarius,
yeah, matter of fact, where the regular is at? Because I know where
our regular, I don't see some of our regulars aren't on tonight. But guys, you do not want to miss Friday. We have a special guest.
Yeah. Y'all
have a special guest on Friday. And I think this is the finale for the Never Ever Mets. We are almost.
This is it.
We are almost done. We is almost done.
We talk about the 13th, or we still not?
We can talk about the 13th because
damn it.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm a virtuous woman and I need a man of valor. I like it, Edna. I like it a lot. I think
what's her name?
Edna Perkins. She says she is a virtuous woman and she needs a man of valor. Better be somebody fine. Well, all right. So guys, we are doing our speed dating event. It is titled A Perfect Match. And we are super excited. Oh, there she is. The Haitian Empress has entered the building. We were looking for you.
Because I know you got something slick to say.
But so we're doing this. It's called The Perfect Match. Dating Diaries presents. And our first one is going to be July 13th. So after you come back from Essence, get ready to come in. If you're in Atlanta or in the Atlanta area, make sure that you get ready to come in. Now, the exciting thing about this is I am happy and excited to say that it's being sponsored by Seagram's Escapes. They have come on board as our sponsor. So all the ladies will get Seagram's Escapes when you come. You get your peach Bellini, your mixed berry. You guys,
you have to subscribe.
You have to subscribe to get your free drink. You have to be subscribed. But we are cultivating a experience where it'll be fun because I feel like there are so many people that tune in, and I see so many people in the comments saying that they've given up on dating. But what are you guys doing? Are you getting out there? Are you putting yourselves out there in order to meet somebody? Like, I think a lot of us are saying that we're sad and we don't, we've given up and we haven't really put ourselves out there. So we are creating an opportunity to where we are taking away the excuses. You can't sit home and expect God to send the man to your window. You got to put yourself out there. And so if you can put yourself out there with us, and we can create a situation that is, it is fun. I'm not getting out there. See, that's what I'm saying. You gotta get out there. Like, I would not have met Adrian or Gun Boss if I did not put myself in this dating group, right? There was a dating group, a private dating group on Facebook. I put myself in the group. Actually, someone invited me and I accepted the invitation. But if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have met him. So you have to be open to putting yourself out there. Now, once you get out there, then you have to use your discernment to pick through. But you gotta practice. You can't just be sitting expecting him to just, appear.
Well, right, and that's the point of the speed dating. Like, there's an interview process. Quick, we're gonna have some games. We're gonna make it so you can get to know the people that are in the room. These are all singles, and we rounded the cattle up in one room.
Yes.
R&B vibes, 90s vibes, and now it's no excuse for all the women that be like, do you got any single friends? They will be there. For all the
right.
the ladies at, they will be there. Don't ask me no more. They will be there. We did this for y'all. They will be there. Promise.
Yeah, and you can't say you don't feel comfortable going places by yourself, because we will be there, and this is all a family. Now, when in Rome said, maybe I need to get my BBL. I'm tired of being SpongeBob. Ma'am.
It's guys that like that.
Well, first of all, okay, you don't need to get a BBL. If you feel like you want to change your shape, then you just need to work out and you need to eat differently. And I need to do the same thing, but I don't think a BBL is necessary. In fact, I know it's not necessary to find your man. You do not need to focus on, you need to focus on what you want and what you believe God is going to send you, not BBL Drizzy.
I guarantee you there's a man that likes you the way you are.
BBL Drizzy.
If that's what you want to do for yourself, I get that.
I don't suggest a BBL.
But if you're trying to, for a man to be, I promise you, when they say it's somebody for everybody and different, we've seen this on the show.
There's a lid for every pot.
As Christal's grandmother would say.
Yeah, my granny would say. C-Dub said there's a man who loves long backs.
Apparently there are.
Well, there are. There is somebody for everybody. There is somebody for everybody.
Like, listen, there's a guy that all of us, male, female, like, oh man, I hate that you feel that way. I'm serious. Like, I
just playing, but I do think there are women that feel like that. I know, talking to my daughter's friends, they're younger and in their 20s and early 20s, and they're girls that say that they feel uncomfortable because if they don't have a BBL, which is really sad. But I think that we all get caught up in, we all get caught up in trying to fit what we think other people like. I mean, there are a lot of guys that are probably not 6 feet that want to get the surgery to make themselves taller, but that's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy, because as much as a lot of women may say they don't like short men, there are a lot of short men around with women.
There's some women I know that told me they do not have a problem with it.
I got a girlfriend who prefers short men. Every time we go someplace, she is hugged up in the corner with some little short buff man. And, that's, everybody has their different likes.
Yeah, understand.
And sometimes your likes may not be, like, I thought that I wanted a chocolate brother. Obviously, I wanted a white chocolate brother. Like, who knew? Who knew? Sometimes what you think you want may not be what you need. But now I'm very happy with the white chocolate. I love it. I do. And I never, you can, Mo knows I did not date guys that were, I didn't even look at guys that were light skinned. I was just not into it. I was not into it.
Hey, man. We're going to have a good time. I want y'all to come out if you're in. If you want to fly in, I promise you, this
Or
is not
drive over,
regular.
drive over. It's going to be a good time. Most importantly, we're going to have like these conversations. We're going to do like interviews. People will get a chance to meet. And I'm
Tell
not
them
saying that you're going to find the love of your life on the first time, but what I can say is that you're going to have a good time. You're going to have some good food. And
about the end of it.
oh yes, this is so exciting. So we have Seagram's Escape, and also each night we will pick a perfect match for that night, right? Based on the energy and Mo and I putting together our ideas and what we think, and the couple that we choose, the guy that we choose that gets the most, thumbs up from the girls, we will pay for their first date. So each week, each month that we have this event, there will be a winning couple that gets a date on us that we're paying for. And, then we'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be fun.
And
yes,
come on the show.
Yes. And talk about the date.
Give us their dating diaries of each other.
Yes. And guys, that's going to be good. That's going to be good. I love hearing. It's kind of like, you guys remember that? What was the love? What was that show with Chuck Woolery?
Love Connection.
Love Connection. Yes, Love Connection. That's what we should have called it. The new Love, ATL Love Connection, a new Love Connection. Because then you would go out on the date and you would come back and you would hear the perspectives from both sides. I loved it.
Yeah, so we're going to do that. So it'll be content for the show as well. And the women seem to not have a problem coming out. I'm getting the guys to come out. I really want
yes, guys.
I'm telling you,
That's why we have Mo. Mo is the secret, and Adrian will help as well.
There you go.
The guys to come out, because we need the men. We want quality men. We don't want men like the guy that I went out with that asked me for money.
No bums.
We don't want bums. We don't want scrubs. We want men that really are seriously interested in meeting good women.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got a few partners coming out and they're excited, and I really think this event will work. And like I said, this will be a once a month thing, but the first one we want to start off with a bang.
And the age is open. We're basically open. And I want to say this, if you want to come just to hang out with us and you don't want to, you're in a relationship, you just want to come out and have a good time with us, we basically have called this a speed dating experience that feels like 90s R&B. So it's going to be just a good time. I know it's scary out there, Edna, but you know what? Our God is able, and he is faithful. So I believe that he will do what he said he will do. And if you hold him to his word, I believe that he will come through. But yeah,
day party vibes too. It starts from 6 to 10 on the 13th.
6 to 10 on the 13th. We'll put the flyer up on the page.
Out there. Yeah,
come have some good food, some Seagram's Escape, and just meet people. Like, you can't be afraid to meet people. Also, I would tell women, one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I was single was I would go for long sabbaticals without dating. I would date, and then I would have a bad experience, and then I would go for like a year and not date. And guess what? When I started dating again after that year, I was right back in the same position. I wasn't growing. I wasn't learning, right? So you have to put yourself out there in order to grow and in order to learn.
Use it, lose it.
Yeah, you cannot, like driving. When we first started driving a car, we had to drive. We had to get some time under our belt. So you got to meet people. You don't have to have sex with them. You don't have to but you do have to get out, meet people, figure out what you like, what works with you, laugh, practice.
The question. Let's start off with this. Do you have a tip? We're going to give one tip each show.
Leading up to it.
You give a tip for the ladies. I'm going to give a tip for the gentlemen.
Okay. So my tip for the ladies, and I put this in the flyer in the description, but ladies, we have to use what God has given us, right? We all know, I don't care what shape or size you are, there is a sundress out there that is right for you. I promise. There is a sundress for every woman, for every size, for every shape, short, tall, thick, wide, whatever you are, thin, there's a sundress out there. So I am telling you, there is nothing sexier than a confident woman in a sundress that she knows looks good on her. So find your sundress, right? For this event, we know that we want to come to this event. We want to feel flirty. We want to feel sexy. So what I want you to do is get your dress and try it on in the mirror, right? Take some time, turn the music on, whatever
They
your
wear
music is.
drawers with the dress.
What?
Because some women don't wear drawers with the they wear drawers with the. How did that work? Is that how did that work?
You do wear underwear with you wear pants.
I know a lot of women that don't. They told me that's a rule. You ain't supposed to do that. That's what
I
I heard.
have not heard that rule, nor do I adhere to it.
Okay, that's what I heard now.
I don't adhere to that rule because a sundress often can, you don't want to be out there without, no. So anyway, yes, back to what I was saying. You turn on your music, whatever music makes you feel sexy, right? Whatever puts you in that mood, you put the dress on, you find the right hairstyle, you find the right lipstick to pop with that color of that dress, and you feel yourself. Now, DeQueasy said just some loose booties. I don't.
Now.
But yes, you want to wear panties with your sundress on a speed date. You don't want to come and send the wrong message with the gapping up in your backside and it's out. No. You want to wear your panties, sexy panties though. But that is important though, ladies. If you wear sexy panties, you feel sexier. What you put on,
like that,
all the way at the bottom, it makes you feel all the way from the foundation on all the way through. So everything from your body scrub to your body butter to your to your underwear to your bra, everything, make it pretty, make it sexy, feel good in it. And when you feel good, you're going to walk in that place, you're going to see us, we're going to already sense that energy coming from you. So I would say make sure that you spend some time getting ready, but before you come, make sure you get that sundress, you try it on, and you know, okay, this one looks good on me. Feel confident. Do not come with something that you don't feel 100% confident in.
And wash your feet.
What?
Wash your feet. Anyway, okay. Here go my thing for the men.
I don't think my XO family needed to hear that, but okay. All right.
You wanted to clean feet?
Yeah, I think they clean their feet. I don't think you need to tell.
I'm not saying them. It might be friends they bring us on. I know they do.
Okay.
Anyway, okay. Guys, here's the thing. Even if it's not, you don't have the best outfit. This is my first tip. We're going to get to the outfit on the next show.
Okay.
But here's what I want. Before you say anything, she's going to smell you. So cologne, right? Get your smell good right. Very, very important. I've seen women who thought guys was like, they were on the fence, but the cologne put them over the fence. Smell good, because it's going to say other things that you can't say. So smell good. Not a whole lot, but smell good. We're going to be here next to each other. Smell right. And if you're not sure, get advice from a female friend. Or DM me. I can tell you some good fragrances. We can go high end or low end, however you want. And, it's expensive or not so expensive. It's all good. And what I would recommend is, I'm going to give you one of my plays. I normally don't do this. I'm trying to help y'all out. If you're a person like me that speaks with their hands, put it on the back of your hand. Rub Vaseline first. Rub Vaseline. And then you do and then when you're talking like I talk, you see what I'm saying? This how this goes. See how your hands is moving to the smell good all the way over there. But Vaseline, because Vaseline,
it makes it stay.
And then it lasts a little longer, lasts way longer. The average cologne, and what I would recommend is have it in the car, spray it before you get it, because the average cologne is between 3 to 5 hours. If it's good, it's 5 hours. If it's 3 at the most. Not a whole bunch of skip. And if you talk with your hands, But that is very important. If she's sitting up there and she's basking in your
aura, your presence.
Yeah, it'll help. It will help. We'll
I
do the
will
rest.
say, we ladies agree, there is something about a man that smells good. And
you gotta wash before you do it now. Don't come from work, come over there, you ain't wash yourself.
Yeah.
You wash.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to wash. No Old Spice or Axe. I agree. We don't want that.
We way too young for that.
I got my son a bunch of Axe when he was in middle school.
Yeah, and that's where you need to end it in middle school.
But yeah, that I think that's good. I think that, I would say this, and I know we're gonna go back to our dating tips we lead up to this, but I definitely think a man that smells good, and I think that confidence comes through with everybody. So feel confident in whatever don't worry about. I'm gonna say, don't worry about like having expensive stuff on. Just worry about what feels good on you and what you feel good in.
There you go.
I feel like, when it comes to men and women, like I know some women are into labels and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of people like that, and that's fine. But what's most important is what it looks like on you, and do you feel confident in it? I remember there's some stuff that you can put on that you just feel like you that chick, and you have to feel that way and walk in that way, and we're gonna have a good time.
You wear it, don't let it wear you.
Exactly. So that is the advice, you guys. We're going to talk a little bit more about this, and we will be back on Monday with an update I saw people were asking about Huntsville. So we are going to do that. We had the fight and Father's Day this weekend, so we didn't get a chance to do our review, but we are going to do that on Monday, so you can tune in on Monday. But Friday, guys, we have a guest. We have a guest joining us on the Never Ever Met's recap. I believe this is the last one. And I don't know if there's going to be a reunion. I wasn't able to find out if there is a reunion. I will know by Friday, though. I just didn't get a chance to ask my connections. Is there a reunion? If there's a reunion,
I will be
shocked. Have to do a party for that, because that's going to be crazy. We have to do a live viewing party or something. That's going to be wild. But yes, there will be a guest on Friday show, and we'll talk more about. We are also going to be doing some Instagram lives to promote the perfect match. We should have called it Love Connection, because I guess we still
this one. Oh no, we still can. Or if not, the next one, we got you.
The guest is a secret because we want you all to tune in, Haitian Empress.
Y'all gonna want this one, trust me.
The guest is going to be good. There'll be a flyer that'll go out probably Friday morning. So we'll see you guys here at 10 o'clock on Friday for our recap. Remember, if you have Fox Soul, please go and watch our episode that aired today. Mo and myself were on giving dating advice and telling people about our XO family. And so make sure that you check that out. Leave a comment so that they will love us. I did want to share really quickly before we leave. I just got a text from Portia, and she said, great show, lots of great feedback. So that's a great thing. That's very encouraging. And I'm excited to see how the show does. And hopefully we'll have some new viewers. And you guys share this, share the channel. I know that there's, a lot of people are doing a lot of different things on YouTube. But share this with someone if you have a friend that that you think would be a good member of our XO family. Share it with them. We would welcome them to come. Like they say in the church, will you come? Will you come?
Will you come?
Will you come? Yes. Well, this has been good. It's a hump day, so we're gonna let you guys head to bed because it is 10:30 and we all need to get to bed so we can all be ready for work tomorrow. And we will see you guys right back here like every Friday at 10 p.m. for the Never Ever Met's recap. All right. We love you all, and we will see you Friday.
Love y'all. Be safe.